I hold a brick for you, daddy. Street dudes in real life have a bad rep. They can be untrustworthy players and honestly very dangerous. But in these books, baby, they'll have you ready to risk it all. Like my girl Summer Walker said, girls need love too, honey. Especially the kind that comes with security and a side of hood loyalty. This is the soft girl guide to loving street dudes and urban romance, featuring Capone and Aaron. Hey y'all, welcome back to the Softest Read. But if this is your first time with me, it's just welcome, girl. Before we get into this week's video, I want to make me a soft girl garden cocktail, which is like my new obsession. And really what it is just a THC infused seltzer that I purchased from Specs, and then I mix it with a little cocktail juice, and then I'm gonna top it off with some tequila because girl, I need a drink. Okay, so let's get into it. So good. Now let's get into some things. So this week, y'all, I am diving into Jahquel J's Capone series, which gives me insight into what soft girl life looks like for a woman who is dealing with a street dude. I dived into Capone and I freaking love the book, y'all. I love this so much just because I see messages in everything that I read, or at least I try to find like something educational from a read that I read, just because I like to walk away with something, whether it is entertainment or education or informative. I want to walk away from a read learning something new about myself or just in general. I feel like Jahquel J's book did that for me, especially when it comes to like dating. In Capone, I feel like I got more street fiction, urban fiction romance in it, and it's something I have not read in a long time, and y'all, it was just a joy to read. I thoroughly enjoyed it, so much so that I was like, I want to do like a soft girl's guide to dating street dudes video. So I'm gonna break it down from sharing what soft girl life is for me, share an example of a moment where I was choosing the hard life. Okay, and then I want to talk about some green flags and some red flags and some more stuff. So let's get into it, y'all. Without further ado, okay, let's get into it. So for me, y'all, soft girl life can mean a lot of things, and it honestly looks different for everyone. I feel like it is whatever you make it. If you want it to be bubble baths and cute glitter drinks and journaling, then it's bubble baths, cute glitter drinks, and journaling. That is your journey. Soft girl life is whatever you make it. It doesn't have to look like what other people are doing. But for me, one of the reasons why I named my channel The Softest Read is because I own a body butter business called The Hydrated Hottie, and if y'all didn't know, Now y'all do. Y'all, I love smelling good. I love having soft skin and being complimented on my skin, how hydrated it looks. The Softest Read speaks to me having soft skin. Another thing is that I have a very soft voice. I've always been complimented on me having a soft voice, and for the longest, y'all, I did not like my voice. I couldn't even stand to hear myself on a video like this. Like when I first started in mid-February, I didn't even like watching my videos back because I was just like, I don't like the way I sound. Like, me doing these videos is really helping me grow more confident in embracing my voice, and also embracing that I have something to say and I shouldn't keep it to myself. You know, I just do. You know, I'm a girl who loves books and I love to talk about them. And lastly, soft girl living or soft girl era means for me not overexerting myself, overworking myself, and learning to say no to things that go against my mental health and my sanity. And also prioritizing my peace, my pleasure, and learning how to keep my nervous system regulated by slowing things down, slowing myself down, not feeling like I have to rush all the time, but just taking my time and learning to be more patient with things, or with how things are panning out in my life, and not feeling like I have to do something else, doing XYZ to speed up stuff. Just letting things happen naturally without me feeling like I have to intervene or have that much control over my life. Because ultimately, you could plan shit out, you can plan things out to a T, but life will always life, and it's not always about a bad thing. It could just be a delay in something. But learning to be okay with things happening on their own time, and me not rushing things to happen on their own time. So that's a part of my soft girl era, and me learning the importance of patience and sitting in that. And one last thing on my soft girl era living is me learning how to say yes when help is being offered, and not because I can't do it, but because I do not have to do it alone, period. And you don't either. Like, for real, y'all, if I can keep it all the way real, let me put this drink down. If I can keep it all the way real with y'all, I can't even tell y'all how many times I've done stuff to make my life harder when it really, truly didn't even have to be hard. And I remember one instance, because it's something I think about all the time, but I remember when I first moved into my new apartment, this apartment here, I live on the 3rd floor, so it's literally 3 flights getting to my apartment. And we don't have any elevators. I have to literally haul all my groceries up 3 flights of stairs. Now I get my groceries delivered to my door. But when I first moved in, y'all, I wasn't doing that. So I was taking multiple trips back and forth, basically up and down the stairs to get my groceries. So I remember when I came down the 3rd time, I was coming down the 3rd time, and there was a guy who was walking his dog, and he was like, hey, do you need some help? I can help you. And I was like, nah, I got it. But the truth was, like, instantly when I said it, I was like, why the did I say that? Like, you know you need help. You know your arms are burning. You know your back is screaming. You know you're tired. You know you're out of breath. Oh my God, y'all. But that moment stuck with me because I immediately wanted to say, please help me. But I didn't, and I suffered in bringing the last little bit of stuff up the stairs. But y'all, that moment stuck with me ever since, because, and I'm not gonna get emotional, but I've been on my own since I was 17. And when you're on your own like that, and I moved to Houston, I didn't know anybody here, and it was like a whole new world for me, and I had to learn a lot of hard things by myself that I just had no knowledge about prior to me moving here. I always had to work hard for everything that I have. I have developed this hyper independence that is hard to shake. Like, it's so hard to shake it when you have a man who's here to help you or wants to help, and it's hard to receive help. It's not even always about a man trying to help me. Sometimes it's just people in general trying to help me who want to help, and I'm always saying, I got it, I got it, I got it. So hyper independence will have you turning away the very help you've been praying for, because God knows I prayed for help and I turned it down too, and I used to get really upset with myself about it. And y'all, I hate to say it that it didn't stop there. There was another time, and I've shared that I'm 4'11". I was in a grocery store and I was struggling to reach like some kind of jar of sauce, right? It was pushed all the way in the back. So I had to step on the shelves, and I was clearly struggling when this other guy came up and he was like, hey, you need help? And I looked him dead in the eye and I said, I'm good. But I clearly wasn't. I was literally struggling. But thank God this guy still helped me despite me telling him no. Because he already knew what was up. He was like, nah, you good, I got you. You don't even have to struggle like that. And y'all, I was smiling really bashfully because I was embarrassed and because he was cute. And I was like, oh my God, Lord Jesus. This man must think I'm freaking crazy. And y'all, I nearly melted when this 6 foot tall king handed me my jar because I was embarrassed and I was showing all my 32 teeth. When I'm embarrassed, I can't help but smile. I was like literally putting in his hands while also trying to get out saying thank you. But it wasn't until I got my car after that I had a hard ass conversation with myself. I was like, why do you keep turning down help? Why do you keep making things hard on yourself? In that self-reflection, y'all, I found out 3 reasons why I kept doing that. So one of the reasons is that I do not like to feel like a burden on people. I try to figure it out by myself first before I start going to look for help. But even, it's like help is the last resort. Like, I don't want the help. I need to figure this out by myself because I don't want to be a burden on anybody. 2, it's hard for me to ask for help in general. Again, I'm hyper independent. I've always learned how to do stuff on my own. I'm like, if I have to struggle and going back and forth and making 5 trips to my car and going up 3 flights of stairs, I would just do that because, again, I do not like to impede on anybody else's life or feel like I'm a burden. And then 3, sometimes needing help makes me feel like I'm weak or that I have lost control of my life and that I can't handle it. And I never want to come off like that. I always want to come off as a strong woman who's capable. But that's what survival literally teaches you. It teaches you to keep going, even when you're literally struggling, till you're burnt out, till you don't have it in you anymore. And I said all of this to say, y'all, that that's exactly who Erin is. She's a strong woman who finds it really hard to ask for help when we meet her in Capone. So this story follows Erin. Like I said before, she's a guarded, independent woman who's used to always surviving on her own and taking care of things on her own, including her younger brother. She's like this because she lost her parents and felt compelled to take care of her and her brother, despite them having some sort of help too. She still felt like she was obligated to do more and above and beyond the help they were getting. Because ultimately, when you're like that, you don't want to feel like a burden. And I recognized that in Erin early on. I was like, oh my God, Erin is me. Erin is me. But then comes Capone. He's like a boss in these streets, but moves like a man who values peace at home. And he's hell-bent on bringing ease into Erin's life so that she doesn't have to carry that anymore by herself. She doesn't have to be strong all the time. And y'all, Jahquel J did an excellent job. I mean, an excellent job in portraying this. Like, in their relationship, and there's other characters within the book, but I'm only focusing, it's a lot of characters actually. It's a lot of other characters in the book, but I want to focus on Erin and Capone for this video. But their relationship building is not without drama. Like all relationships, they're gonna have a little bit of drama seasoning on it, but it's not the type of drama that would break the two up. Like Capone is man enough to handle things before Erin even has to lift a finger, honey. Okay, like Capone is that dude. Okay, and sure, like Erin, because she's so used to being strong, she's naturally a worrywart now. Like that's a part of her character. She's a worrywart. She's a worrywart. She's a worrywart. Okay, she naturally worries about things because she's so used to doing everything by herself. It's really hard for strong women to rest, to feel safe enough to let someone else step in. But Capone, honey, he makes it easy. So much so that my girl, she learns how to feel safe around him, knowing that her man got it. He has her, he has her family, he has his family, and that's just that on that. And he shows up in a way that makes her want to soften. Now let's get into some soft girl dating rules. Y'all, I have my notes here, so I'm gonna be reading off my notes. Now, these are some rules I picked up from reading Capone. So number 1, let your man lead, but don't lose your voice. Capone handled his business, honey. He made a lot of moves, but never once did he try to like speak for Erin or silence her. She had opinions, boundaries, and moments where she had to check him. There was a moment where Capone had made a decision without Erin's input, and Erin, she checked him for it. At this point in the book, they were living together, and so he made a decision about their household without including her. She said, "Is this your house?" He said, "Yes." "Is this my house too?" He said, "Yes." So she's like, "If it's both of our household, you need to include me in your decision making for our household." And baby, when I tell you, that man got it. It was received, honey, okay? Because ultimately, Capone knew, like, this is his woman. He wants to always maintain that trust with them. He wants to also make sure that she's always good, and he realized that he failed at that in that moment. And that he also made a promise that it would never happen again. I was like, yes. That's the kind of leadership that's rooted in respect and not ego, because sometimes street men or men in general will have an ego and be very prideful and not admitting when they're wrong. But Capone had no problem doing that, honey. He was okay with letting it be known that he was wrong in that moment. It will never happen again. So let a man lead without making yourself small, period. Number 2 is that you do not have to fight to be heard. So Erin, she hardly ever begged, yelled, or over explained herself. When she said something to Capone, he understood it very clearly because he paid a lot of attention to her. This man studied her, everything from her body language, her tone, her silences even. And when she couldn't find the words, he still knew. Like, he still knew his woman because, again, this man studied his woman. He knew her. And that was some delicious intimacy, honey, if I hadn't seen it before on pages. Okay? It was so good to read what kind of man, or how Capone was with Erin. And I really wish that if all street dudes were like this in real life, who had emotional maturity and depth to them to understand their woman in this kind of like level, baby, I would have been had me a straight dude. would have been had me one. But y'all, I really enjoyed that, because when a man listens with intention and not just to respond, but to understand, that's love. That's real love. Number 3, if he doesn't make you feel safe, it's not soft love. So Erin has been through a lot, and I'm not gonna share what she's been through because don't want to spoil the book. But she's been through a lot of things, and while she has been through a lot of stuff, she's not naive and she's not helpless. Like, Erin's still gonna figure out how to do life. She's gonna figure out something on her own, regardless of how hard and challenging it is, because she's just that type of woman. But like I said, Capone came in and gave her something new. He was giving her ease, even though there were clear hiccups, honey. It was so many. I shouldn't say there were many hiccups. There were a few hiccups that would have made any other woman run for the hills. But he also knew how to bring things back and also fix things. He was a fixer. And he was bringing a lot of ease into Erin's life. I'm gonna keep using that word, ease. And also, y'all, I want to mention this too, because it was something that, like, I was like, oh my God, this really exemplifies what it means to be a hard girl and a soft girl. So, y'all, I actually listened to the series via audiobook. That's how I got through all 3 books in literally 2 days. I don't think I mentioned that yet, but I got through all 3 books in 2.5 days, honey. Like, the whole Memorial Day weekend was dedicated to Capone. But anyway, y'all, so there's like a clear shift in Erin's voice from book 1 to books 2 and 3. And get this, the narrator never changed, okay? She never changed. It was the same narrator throughout. But I remember when I was listening to book 2 in the car on the way to somewhere, I was like, is this the same narrator? And I had to stop and check and confirm. And it was confirmed that it was the same narrator, but I was like, she sounds so different. Like, what changed? And then it hit me. What changed is that the female narrator who did Erin's point of view was exemplifying when Miss Erin started to lean into her femininity and her softness. Like in book 1, the narrator was speaking really tough and really harshly. And I can hear her whole entire New York accent. It was very, not to say that New York accents are hard and rough. I'm not saying that at all. But I'm saying, like, Erin's character was very rough and tough talking. Like, it was very hard. But in books 2 and 3, honey, Her voice was much, much softer, more mellower. It wasn't that rough and hardness that I heard in book one. So I was like, you could clearly hear when Capone starts to bring ease into my girl's life. You could clearly hear it. And I don't know if it was intentional by the narrator. And if it was, baby girl, you good at what the fuck you do. You were good at what you do. And I'm putting her name on the screen of the narrator. She did this book justice, okay? Like I said, I don't know if it was intentional on the narrator's part, but honey, that was chef's kiss. And I picked it up so quick. I was like, wow. You know, this whole entire time, Capone was trying his hardest to make sure that she was shielded from drama, and he shielded her from stress. Like I think he even said it, y'all. Not that I think, I know he did. Capone said it a couple times throughout the series that he wanted Erin to live a soft girl life. Like he wanted to bring softness into her life. Okay, he was not playing about that, and it was so clear. Oh my god, it makes me so excited just thinking about it. Like, that was chef's kiss, y'all. If you haven't read the series yet, please listen to it on audiobook and let me know if you guys are picking it up too. Like in book one, she talks real hard and rough, and then book 2 and 3 is more mellowed out and soft because sis is living in her femininity and softness. Okay. Lastly, your softness is not a liability. Erin didn't have to become a ride or die. Like most girls who be dating street thugs, you usually gotta become a ride or die. Like on some Bonnie and Clyde shit. I'll ride for you, but I'm not dying for you, babe. But like, got me fucked up. And when I say ride for you, like, I hold a brick for you, daddy. I'm not even doing that. Let's be clear, I'm not. So what do I mean by ride? What I mean by ride is that I will ride in the passenger seat and I will be passenger princess, and I will support you in everything that you do and be there for you. But I'ma also still check you on your shit like Erin did with Capone. But I don't see myself riding and dying for no dude. Like, no. Immediately no. Immediately no. I'm laughing, but I'm so serious. Immediately no. But yeah, like I said, Erin didn't even have to do all that. She didn't have to be a ride or die for Capone. She didn't have to lose herself in his world or shrink to fit in his life. Capone loved her as she was, how she showed up. He honored who she was. He even admired the type of woman she was, especially how she didn't switch up even knowing that his money was long. She wasn't so quick to try to splurge and buy all these expensive things. And at one point he was like questioning it, like, girl, go buy you this stuff, go buy, like, why are you shopping at Target and Marshalls? And she was still like a regular girl. Like, money did not move her. Like, it did not make her want to be somebody she wasn't. Like, she stayed true to herself, and Capone was looking at her differently. Like, he hadn't even experienced a woman like that before, because most women saw him as a dollar sign. Like, most women saw, like, ooh, can I trick on him? But Erin wasn't trying to trick on him. She wasn't trying to do any of that. She was just a real ass woman, and she didn't want anything more from him than for him to just show up and love on her, keep her safe, protect her, and be a man. Be a man. That's it. That's all. Honestly, I think even if Capone didn't even have all the funds, I think Erin would still stick beside him. She would still want this man because she wanted him because of him and who he was and what he brought into her life, and vice versa. So that was nice to see, y'all. It was so nice to see. Now, dating a street dude in real life can come with some serious pros and cons, honey, if we're being honest. And Capone, baby, while he is very much so a fantasy and a made-up character, he's also written in a way that shows what it could look like if a man from the streets moved with emotional maturity and not just off survival instincts. So let's break down the green and red flags, because we're soft but not stupid. Period. Okay, so the green flags that I have written down in the series is, number 1, Capone gave Erin space before pursuing her emotionally or sexually. Like, this man did not rush her. He could have easily applied a lot of pressure if he wanted to. Ooh. But instead he watched, he waited, and he moved with a lot of intention when it came to her. Aaron wasn't immediately open or trusting around him, and Capone had to respect that. He did respect that. And that alone, y'all, was a major green flag for me, because he understood that trust takes time, and he didn't take her hesitation personal, nor did he get angry or upset with her, because she needed time to build that trust with him and to open up to him. 2, he showed up. Capone didn't disappear when things got heavy or when things were changing in Erin's life, or whenever something big happened in her life. He was right there with her. Like, he didn't run from it. He was supporting her through what she was going through. He checked in, he followed through. This man also didn't just throw money at problems, even though it might have come off like that, but he showed up as a partner. Like, he was still there physically to support her. And for soft girls like us, that kind of consistency feels like a luxury. And my girl Miss Erin was being loved on. Number 3, he knows how to apologize and adjust. Now, Capone, he had a lot of pride. Like I said, most men do. Most men have big egos. Most masculine and BDE men have pride. They have a lot of it. They have a lot of it. But Capone didn't let his pride get in the way. Like, he wasn't too prideful to the point where he couldn't take accountability. Like, whenever he messed up, he was making things right, and he acknowledged it. And when Erin expressed that she needed something, or she wanted something different, or like she wasn't getting enough or something from him, he didn't argue with her. He adapted, and he became like a better man for her. Like, you know what I mean? And it was just nice to see that happening from a straight dude at that, period. That's the difference between a man who just wants to keep you and hold you and make sure you're straight, compared to a man who's just trying to control you, because that's not Capone. Capone, he very much so was all about, again, EASE, ease, and doing everything he needed to do to make sure that his woman was what? Living a soft girl life. Now, y'all, we gotta talk about some red flags for balance, okay? For balance. Because there were some red flags. I gotta keep it real. One is there was a lack of communication early on. Now, most men in the game that we read about in these urban romances or urban fiction books or street fiction books, Capone had a lot of secrets, okay? And stuff that he kept to himself that very few people knew about. People who were really close to him only knew about it. And while some of that comes with the territory of dating a street dude, sometimes it can create tension. Like, for instance, early on in the book, and this is going to be a mini spoiler. It's not that big of a spoiler where I spoil the story, so I'm gonna say the spoiler, and then I'm gonna put on the screen where you need to skip to if you want to skip this part. So early on in the book, the two were supposed to go on a date, and first of all, I felt Erin in this, because Capone was the one that was applying a lot of pressure to get her to go out with him, right? And so the day that he had, decided their date would be, he did not show the fuck up. He left Erin hanging. Erin didn't know what was going on or what have you. And the whole time, Capone, he has autoimmune disease that he was suffering from, that he had some flare-ups about, and he was in pain. And so because he was in pain, he couldn't get out of bed, and he missed the date. But he never told Erin anything about it. He didn't even send her a text or call her to let her know, hey, I won't be able to make it. He just left her hanging, where she had to guess and overthink what had happened about their date. Even though he eventually cleared things up with Erin, he let her know that he has this autoimmune disease. That delay in communication, that delay in honesty up front so soon really could have backfired on him. I know if it were me, I probably would have. I feel like it's just so simple these days to shoot a text message or a phone call that you're not going to be able to make it. And this man, I'm almost certain he had his phone around him. He very much so could have found out a way to reach out to Erin and let her know what was up. Even if he didn't want to tell her that he has this autoimmune disease so early on, he could have just said, I'm not feeling well. And anybody would have understood that. So that's a red flag. Capone is still babe, but that was a red flag. 2, he had some controlling tendencies, and it really depends on what kind of lens you're looking at it, okay? So for instance, Capone made decisions for Erin without always talking to her about it. Not in a disrespectful way, but more in a like, I got it, don't worry about it, which can feel good until it doesn't. And if you're not a woman who likes that energy, that could be a red flag. It could be a red flag for me, but also it can be a green flag, like within reason. You know what I mean? Like, some people might see this as controlling, but I don't see it as controlling. Like, if I go out on a date with a guy, and it could be my first time at a restaurant, and he's been there before, and he knows what's good, if he orders for me, it depends on how he orders or how he does it. I might find that attractive. Like, okay, let's see, you know, and this for the lady. But some women might find that controlling. Like, nah, the fuck, like, I can speak for myself, I don't want that. So, you know, it just really depends on what lens you're looking at it from, and then also the situation. But for me, some of the things that Capone did, I'm glad Aaron did check his ass on. She checked his ass on it. But yeah, it can come off as a red flag, okay? Is all I'm saying. It just really depends, because some girls might like it, you know, you never know. And my last red flag on my list is that the street life is always going to be a risk, okay? I'm not even going to pretend that when you're dating a street dude, that kind of lifestyle, you're dating his lifestyle. You're dating his lifestyle. And that lifestyle can get really interesting and go from 0 to 1,000 real quick. Like, you'll have the late night calls where he has to leave for an immediate emergency. Y'all could be snuggled up just after back shots. And he's getting a call about his trap house or something could be going on, and he has to dip, and you have to be okay with sometimes sleeping in your bed alone. Y'all could be out on a date and he gets a call about some other kind of emergency and he has to go, and well, you know, you gotta let your man do what he gotta do out here in these streets. You can't impede on that. This is how he makes his money. Sometimes you can, within reason. I feel like sometimes he can figure it out, or if he has like a crew, they can figure it out for him. But for the most part, if he's the head honcho, most of them don't operate 100% hands off. Some of them still have their hands, very much don't want it. Then also, y'all, the very scary thing, the very dangerous thing is the unexpected beefs that he might have in these streets. You don't know who's gunning for him and who could also know that you're a soft spot, you and your kids and your family. And his family are a soft spot for him, so you're an easy target to just get to him. And that could be a red flag, okay? Like, we gotta keep it real. So Aaron had to learn to live with that. And while it worked in the story, in real life, I'm not so sure if that's a lifestyle I would be interested in living or leading. Aaron had to live like that. She had to accept that kind of lifestyle when it came to Capone. I don't want to have to constantly look over my shoulder or constantly have to go everywhere with a bodyguard. You might have to move often. You probably have to be locked in the house for a while. You can't leave the house until the streets are clear. That just comes with the territory, but that's a red flag for me. If you've ever been the strong woman and just wanted a man who could see you and bring peace, protection, and ease into your life, this read is absolutely for you. And because I just need some D, I just need some love. Tired of messing with these lame niggas. I just need a thug. Want to move with peace, but still keep it tucked. Make me feel safe, like a warm hug. Because that book had me feeling like that. I mean, when I tell you, Summer Walker's Girls Need Love was running through my mind the entire time I was reading the Capone series. Because of that, I give this the Softest Read rating a 5-star out of 5 stars. It deserves every last one of those stars. I am so excited that I'm on the Jahquel J book love train now, honey. I'm late to the party, but I'm here. I have arrived, okay? And now that I'm here, I am hooked. So what I'm reading next is Capone, but the thing is, I like to listen to the audiobook version now because I like picking up on stuff that people who actually read it physically or Kindle aren't picking up on. And also the stories full of drama and my type of drama, and a little bit of, it's a love story in between the drama. I want to hear it. I want to hear it, but your girl doesn't have any more Audible credits. And the thing is, these Audible books are so expensive, honey. So I'm gonna wait until I get some more credits or see if I can buy some in bulk. I don't know. I gotta do some more research. But if push comes to shove, because I have Kindle Unlimited, I'm gonna just go ahead and get the physical copy, or I mean get it on Kindle and then read it like that. But it might take me a little bit longer to get through it if I have to sit down and flip through the pages, just because I can get through audiobooks much faster, much quicker, and I can listen to an audiobook while doing pretty much housework and going into work. Like, it's just, I love Audible books now. I'm an Audible book girly. Okay, so with that being said, again, the book is a 5-star read, and I can't wait to read Capone next, y'all, because I have a sneaky feeling that he's more cutthroat than his brother, and I feel like they've been saying it in the book that he's more rah-rah in these streets than his brother Capone. And Yeah, I can't wait to see what he's hitting for too. I really feel like Capadonna is gonna be babe just because of how he moved with one girl in this book, in the Capone series. Like there was a scene where he had did something special to help another girl out that he had been eyeing. He had his eyes set on Miss Ma'am, okay? And again, oh, while I'm saying that, yeah, when he did that, he brought a lot of ease into her life, okay? Say it with me, he brought ease into her life. I feel like when y'all read Capone and y'all read the scene that I'm thinking about or that I'm talking about, it's gonna make sense. So yeah, Capadonna, I feel like he's gonna be bad, and I feel like he's gonna be more of a gremlin in these streets. So I'm really excited to read his story too. I think there's 3 books in his season. So Capone was season 1, Capadonna season 2. So y'all, I'm really excited to get up into it, okay? Oh, and then also after Capadonna, there's Capri, who is their sister, their younger sister. And I'm excited about reading her story as well. So stay tuned. Whew, this book really reminded me that being strong all the time is exhausting, and it's not always necessary. Erin didn't lose her strength by letting Capone show up for her. She gained rest, safety, and a kind of love that didn't ask her to suffer first. And that's what us soft girls and black women need more of. It's okay to let people pour into you. It's okay to be cared for. And it's okay to stop surviving and start softening. Love shouldn't feel like another job. It should feel like home. With that being said, that's it for me today, y'all. Thank y'all so much for hanging with me again over here at the Softest Read. I appreciate all the book girlies who tune in. Stay hydrated, stay soft, stay turning those pages, and I'll see y'all next time. Mwah.